So is anybody ready to start sharing their stuff? Or should we wait? Anybody, if you want to get some feedback on your images, you can share your document. Is anybody ready for that yet? Or? If any group is share their document with me, you can let me know. Have a look and give you some feedback. And give you a score. There was no structure. Specific extract. It was just to give us a summary. But I need to fix that access. So you clicked on this link, right? This one here at the bottom? And it didn't give you access, right? Okay, I think that's... Okay, you can try it again. Hopefully it works this time. I could add coursework 2 up there too, if people want to, but I just thought it's a distraction right now. Does the link to coursework 2 work now? Does anybody? Also, I think I made a mistake with coursework 1. Yeah. So, I think the original date was the 17th of March.
Yeah, it was the 17th.
Yeah, so, yeah, we change it to the 17th, back to the 17th, yeah. I was just testing you guys to see if you were paying attention.
It's okay, we get it.
Just one little character makes a big difference. Okay, pretend that didn't happen. Yeah? Pretend that didn't happen. Going to share their images for today? Is anybody going to share an image for us? Oh, okay. Somebody's going to share an image. That's nice. Okay. Number of rows, 600 columns. 600 rows, 12 columns. Okay. Okay, that's the livestock slaughter. Okay, yep. Okay, let's see. Okay, so, oh yeah, that looks pretty interesting. Let's see if I can zoom in some more. Okay, calves, steers, young bulls. Wow, okay. Yeah. Okay, I guess, I guess I'm wondering, I'm looking at this and I'm wondering what the x-axis is. So 0 to 600. I guess I'm not sure. Okay, I guess I understand. I guess I understand the y-axis maybe, but I don't understand the x-axis.
I think we made the x value wrong because I think the x value is the number of the rows because there are 600.
Okay, yeah. You can correct it if you want. In general, like if this was coursework 2, this is basically coursework 2, you'd want to have clearly labeled x and y axes so I can see what those x and y axes are. But it looks interesting. So that's the challenge. One of the challenges is the observation, like what can we learn? And I won't be able to learn very much if I don't know what those axes are. But this is also good for me because when I'm writing the assessment for coursework 2, I can put in like clearly labeled axes. You know, are your axes clearly labeled? What is this one? I don't know what that is. Is this a real submission or is this like some spam thing going on? Is this from anybody in this room? Or is it some spam thing waiting to attack? This is not from anybody in this room, or is it? RM Excel. Okay, if it's not from anybody in the room, then I won't look at it. It looks a little bit like spam. Anybody else want some feedback on their things? I didn't think this exercise would be that difficult. We'll try for another 10 or 15 minutes, maybe another 15 minutes or so. Yeah, you might have to actually modify the data, like introduce a new column, for example, with the different categories and things like that.
Could you give us an example of how to show pictures, use the data set you would like? I guess we don't know what to do.
So what I would, whoops. I mean, one thing that I would consider doing is just to go to YouTube, basically. Yeah, YouTube. And you can have a look how to create a tree map in Excel.
I know how to
You know, something like that.
I don't know how to deal with the creation cells. How to choose X, Y, X.
So in the tree map, there is no, you can't choose an XY axis. You can only choose a hierarchy. So for the tree map in the sunburst chart, it's all about creating that hierarchy. For an area chart and a scatter plot, then you choose axes, right? So the most natural choice for an x-axis is time, like the date. Like in the sample data set that I provided, there's a year. So it makes sense to map year to the x-axis, and then quantity to the y-axis in the data set that I gave you. So you see like the number of livestock every year. If you visualize it with an area chart, it's going up every year. Yeah. And then the question is, how much is it going up every year? So a good observation would be something like, we can see between the years 1990 and 2010 that the number of livestock slaughtered has doubled. Like that would be an interesting observation. Any other questions?
We have to show all the correlations in the data set, or we can only choose two of the variables to show their correlations, and we find a specific research question.
I mean, you can't find all of the you're not expected to find all the relationships in any data set. Maybe just choose one. Like the most obvious one in the livestock data set is year versus number or quantity. Like how does the quantity of livestock slaughter change over time? That's the most obvious. But you could investigate other ones, like how is the ratio of cattle slaughters compared to the ratio of pig slaughters? Well, that's another possibility. Things like that. But you wouldn't be able to explore all the relationships.
So as for the plot, you can only show the correlation between two variables.
It depends on what you're using. If you use something like parallel coordinates, what we mentioned last week, you can show, several relationships at the same time, like 10, for example. It depends on which chart you choose. I don't think Microsoft Excel has parallel coordinates, but there are other tools that have parallel coordinates. In the coursework too, you don't have to use Excel, you can use any tool. But the data set is chosen, actually. You're given the data set, and then you can choose any tool. Okay, we have another one. Good. Okay, this is the livestock data set. Okay, that looks interesting. Sheep and lamb distribution of livestock slaughter in the UK. Okay. This is a good start, this one. The only thing I would say about this is it only shows one level in the hierarchy. Like a really good tree map shows more than one level in the hierarchy. Does that make sense? Yeah. So in the disk inventory X example, well, let's see, what's another? In this tree map, we can see multiple hierarchy levels. Right? One of the levels is encoded by the larger rectangles, and then another level is encoded by the smaller rectangles. So we can see two levels in the hierarchy there. That's a good tree map. If there's only one layer, it's not as helpful. Like this has only one level. So if a really good one would then show some more rectangles inside.
So the second level shows like months, year, day.
For example, yes, yeah. The next level could be the year, like number of sheep and lambs slaughtered. This is the total number, and then the smaller rectangles could be the years, like 1985, 86, 87, 88, and then you can see. Yeah. Okay, there's another one here, the sunburst chart. Okay, that's a little bit more interesting, right? Because you have underage cattle and then you have some children. If those are really correct, that's another question. But, this is two levels. This is two levels in the hierarchy at the same time. It looks like it's incomplete, basically. Usually you'd have the whole second ring populated. Okay, that looks kind of interesting. Okay, so that's 1 year. That's from 2021 to 2022. 1 year's worth of data. Okay. So this one says 21 years. Okay. This one to me looks like it's showing 1 year. This one to me looks like it's showing several years. If this is really true, I'm not sure how accurate this is, but if it's really true, you can see a massive drop in the number of pigs slaughtered in the year 1998 through 2001 for some reason. And then you can see a valley here and then a big spike again. It would be interesting to make sure that this is really true and it's not an error. Right? And this is a little bit confusing, right? 85 years. I think what you meant to say is 1985, right? I think that's what you meant to say. Okay, here's some more. Okay, so somebody chose something that's not the slaughter, which is good. It would be good to have a description of the data somehow, like the number of rows, the number of columns, what the data is, CO2 emissions by income group. Okay, that's interesting. Low income CO2. Okay, that's interesting. It would be nice to have a little bit more of a description of what that data is. But this looks like an interesting area chart. I can see clearly what the x-axis is, and I can see clearly what the y-axis is. There's a nice color legend here, so this is good. Okay, increasement, yeah. See that divided by the income group for the last 20. So I was Okay, so it says it's obvious that the high income group and lower middle income group contribute the most emission. Okay, yep, that looks true. It would be kind of nice to see what is considered high income, like in middle income and so on. It would also be interesting to see where, like, what's the location of this data as well. By continent. Okay, that's interesting. Yep, that looks interesting. Okay, yep. Yep, that looks good. Okay, the one thing that could be improved here is the x-axis. Right, all the numbers are kind of running together. One way to fix that is to rotate the numbers by 90 degrees, so they're vertical. But that looks good. That's a good one. Yep. Good, generally speaking. Okay. I see, yep. So this is the classic kind of error, tree map error, right? There's no hierarchy here. So this is a common mistake. If you imagine there's no hierarchy like this one, if that's true, then you're better off just plotting the same data on a bar chart, basically. Some of England and Wales annual data, okay. Yeah, that's it's hard to follow that description. Okay, this is just-in-time preparation. Okay, that looks kind of interesting. Yeah, well, that one's kind of interesting. I think I would switch it the other way around. Instead of having the months at the top of the hierarchy, I think I would switch it and have the animals in the top, and then the months around the next level. So if that was true, I could say, okay, steer are here, like in which month do the most steer get killed, for example. Yeah. But this is at least kind of correct. Yeah. It's just going to be more difficult to make observations from this one. It looks like a pretty even distribution. Like, I might be able to say something like, okay, in May, there are fewer livestock killed. It looks a little bit like that. Good. Okay, anybody else want to share their things? At least now you see that coursework 2 is not that easy, because this is basically like a warm-up exercise for coursework 2. I I don't see any incriminating emails there. If anybody wants to update their things and then show them again, I can look at them again as well. If I were to guess, I think the area charts are probably, what is it, let me see the ones. And scatter plot. Scatter plot's going to be an easier one too. Can you share your document or?
I have a question.
Sure.
Would you mind showing us how to categorize the data using
The stock data?
categorizing data?
Which data? Any data or
Use that.
the livestock data?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of hard for tree map to categorize data.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. I'm getting an error message with my own data. Oh, there it is. Okay. Where's my folder? So usually for something like a tree map or a sunburst chart, you have to introduce a new column that has the hierarchical, or at least every level of the tree map needs a column, generally speaking. So for example, in this one, you would introduce a column. Oh, I see, yeah. You'd have to introduce a new column, something like this. Right? Calves. Calves. How many rows is that? And then, so imagine introducing a new row called calves. Then you would have to put the steer below the calves. So you have calves, and then it stops, and it changes to steer, and you put all the steer data below that. You know what I mean? And then for every category. Yeah.
There's a column called calculation.
Exactly, yes, yes. So it takes quite a bit of rearrangement. In this case, it takes a lot of rearrangement. Yeah. And what you would actually do in practice is you wouldn't touch this sheet at all. You create a new sheet and then copy and paste the data in the spots where you need it. Because if I do it on the original, I'm going to make mistakes and mess up the original and have to start over again. Did anybody look at this? These other ones? Slaughtering by country monthly. Slaughtering UK monthly. Annual. Anyways, there are lots of possibilities here. And you can see how they've arranged it. But they have not arranged it specifically for tree maps. Yeah. So it is a little bit tricky in this case. Another suggestion would be, by the way, to create a small tree map first, like with just 10 rows in each category, get that working, and then do the whole thing. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to do the whole thing right away. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyone else want to share their things? Okay, here's another one. Okay. Mortality. 21 countries with gaps in 12 countries. Okay, comparison of mortality by current 1960. Okay, again, this would be really interesting if there were two levels in the hierarchy. There's only one level in the hierarchy here. And so there is no hierarchy actually here. But imagine, for example, you could imagine having country, mortality rate country, and instead of just 1960, the rectangles inside could be the years, like 1960, 61, 62, 63. That would be a really good tree map. This same data, if there's no hierarchy, it means this same data could just be shown on a bar chart or a pie chart, right? And a bar chart or pie chart would be better, actually, if there's no hierarchy. Same with the sunburst chart. It's good to have a sunburst chart is for hierarchical data. You can show the same data using a bar chart, and it's going to be better actually. This is actually a donut chart. If you have a sunburst chart that's only got one level, it's also called a donut chart. Oh, okay, that one looks interesting. Okay, so there's a flaw here too. Anybody know what the flaw is here with this one. Everybody see the flaw there? So you got the countries and the years. It's a good idea. The idea is good here, but the countries and the years got confused. Right? Really what you want is along the x-axis you want the year, really. And then in the legend you want the countries. That's really what you want. Good. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else want to share anything? Okay, there's one. So it's not such an easy exercise, is it? I didn't know. I thought that we would get a little bit more progress, but it's not as easy as I thought. And one of the things is, like, as soon as you get into really big data sets, if that's 16,000, is that 16,000 or 16? That's hopefully 16,000. Okay, sales. Yep. Looks like game sales. Yeah. Games. Such as the global sales come out of 3 different console game-based genres. Okay. Okay, that looks interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. So you can see 2 levels in the hierarchy right away. Right? The PS4, that's one console, right? The Xbox and the Nintendo Wii. And then I guess those are the games that are being sold, right? Yep. So that's good. Yeah, that's a successful tree map right there. You could make it even more exciting. You could have year again in this one too. You could have 3 levels, and then you have, for example, the adventure game. So we know that the PS4 is sold the adventure game, but you could imagine saying like, okay, 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002, to see which year that game had the most sales too. So it could show another level, right? 3 levels, but that's a good tree map. Yeah. Any other questions? We will, okay, no, that's different. We'll wrap it up there then if there are no other questions. I hope everybody has a good, question?
The big data is not, the tree map is not suitable for big data for
A tree map is not suitable for what?
Yes, data is about 16,000, right? The previous visualization, the data is about 16,000. But I filter only 23 rows to make a visualization like using tree maps. So it's impossible to make a tree map visualization from 16,000.
That's a good question. So he's saying that it's not good to choose a tree map for 16,000. I would actually say a tree map is good for 16,000 data samples. Because an advanced tree map will let you move up and down the hierarchy. So I don't know if this is possible in Excel, but like for a dedicated tree map application, you can actually go up and down the hierarchy. So imagine in some tree map programs, you can click on an area and it will zoom in and show only that area. Like it will show only, for example, PS4 sales. You can imagine clicking on PS4 and then the whole tree map updates to show only PS4. and then you get more detail. So you can actually move up and down the hierarchy, Gesundheit, with a lot of tree map software. That's interaction. So it will scale up to 16,000 or 16 million. It will scale up if it's a really good interaction. Yeah, it's a good question. Any other questions? And if you want to see that in action, by the way, you can try Disk Inventory X. Disk Inventory X will let you actually move up and down the hierarchy, that program I was demonstrating in the first lecture. So your disk will have thousands of files, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, maybe millions, and Disk Inventory X will be able to show you all of them. Yeah. Oh, well, unless it crashes. But theoretically, it should be able to show you all of them. Okay.
We have updated the sheet. Could you please look at it?
You have one more? Yeah, you updated yours? Did you send it again?
No, Shuming sheet.
Which one is
Shuming sheet.
this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that one's hard to see. Okay, there we go. That looks good. England and Wales, if I can see it. Okay, those are the years there. Okay, England and Wales. I'm gonna zoom in some more. Okay, the only thing I'm not sure about what the blocks are though. I mean, it looks good, but I'm not sure what this block is. You know what I mean? Like, I guess it's the number of livestock slaughtered, but I don't know which one, you know? So it's missing some labels for the different, for that level of the hierarchy. But otherwise, it looks very interesting. Yep. By the way, it is a good idea. This is actually a line chart, by the way, so you wouldn't want to do this for coursework too. But it is a good idea to create some line charts and bar charts and pie charts before you do the more advanced ones to see that if they're consistent. So this is actually a line chart. Some of England, Wales, annual data area chart. Okay, that's interesting. We have steer, yearling total. Okay, that's interesting. I guess one question I would be wondering is it definitely correct? Like, I'm wondering if it's really correct, that's all. Like, this big gray area looks suspicious. But if it is correct, then it's very good. If it is correct. This is a line chart, so don't include that. Like, this one looks interesting too. I see. And okay, so another reason I'm wondering if this is really correct is because there's a total here. And that corresponds to this blue, and now I'm thinking, did something go wrong? Like, shouldn't the total be the biggest?
Yes, the total is not all the database total. It's the first three. first 631. Yeah.
The total count.
The name is wrong. Sorry.
Okay, okay,
The name is wrong.
okay. But the idea, you guys have the right idea. Okay, yep, that looks better. Yep. Yep, that looks like a good one. It would be good to have a year in there. Mhm. But improvements over the first one. Yep.
So if we add the year to the loss,
Yes.
and that
Yes.
would be free hierarchy, right?
Yes, that would be a good improvement to add the
That would
years.
be year first and then months, or months and then.
You could have animal, year, and then month. You could have 3 levels. Yeah. Any other questions? Thanks for sharing that. Okay, we will wrap up here. We're late. We were going to be early, and now suddenly we're late. Have a good weekend, everybody.